Hello, everyone. Welcome to Prestige Castle Farm. My name is Innocent, and today I'll be discussing with you some of the reasons why you may be losing your bunnies, your new baby rabbit, as at the moment of birth or before weaning them. In this farm, we've had an impressive rate of 100% of survival for our baby rabbit till when they are weaned, and we want to share some of the things we have been doing right with some of our viewers and some of the things to look forward to. So in this farm, we've had an impressive rate of 100% survival rate of our bunnies, and that does not mean that we wouldn't lose our bunnies in the future. It's possible. It's absolutely normal. But there are things that we are doing right that we want to share with our viewers. And, because it's actually quite disheartening when, some of our rabbit farmers, share on their Facebook pages or WhatsApp or personally to me that they've lost, their baby rabbit. Because the reality is, if your rabbit, especially if you're doing rabbit for commercial purpose, if your rabbit is not giving birth, you're really not making money. So what is the cause of the death of baby rabbits? Usually it doesn't start at that moment when the baby rabbit is dead. You can trace it back to the beginning of when the things you did not do right at the beginning. So what is the source of your rabbit? Where did you get your rabbit in the first place? Okay, did you get your rabbit from, let's say for example, from a farmer who is practicing the colony system? Personally, I'm not a fan of the colony system, because usually the problem with in colony system is there can be issue of lack of proper record keeping. Sometimes when the rabbits give birth, you don't know which of the rabbit crossed which one. There can be issue of inbreeding, and all this can factor into one losing having a rabbit that would give birth and then losing maybe some of the bunnies, or if not all of the bunnies. When you want to get your rabbits, the first thing you need to ask the farmer or wherever you are getting your rabbit is, what is the history of this rabbit? How many liters does it give? Does the mother give birth to? What is the history? How many liters does the mother give birth to? And what is the survival rate? Of course, you may have some farmers that may not tell you the truth, but if you do have an honest farmer, he will be able to tell you, okay, this rabbit, the mother give birth to maybe 8 bunnies, and out of that 8 bunnies, 7 survived, or all of them survived, or it gave birth to 8 but maybe 3 died. So at least you have an idea of what the history of that rabbit is. So that is the first thing you need to do. So the second thing you need to check out is, at what age did you cross the doe? At what age did you cross your doe? I've seen farmers who, they get their baby because they are in a hurry to have bunnies. They cross their doe at 4 months. The doe may look matured, but ideally an adult doe should be at from 6 months upwards. Some do cross at 5 months, but in our farm here, we only cross our rabbit from 6 months upward. So the advantage of doing that is that the rabbit itself will be very, very matured. Let me give you an example. These 2 rabbits here, they both weigh, when we shake them, they're actually 4 months old. They were weighing 2.5 when we weigh them, and probably they may be weighing more than that currently. So you may decide to say, okay, this rabbit is they are ready, so let me cross them. But they are not ready. They are 4 months old. They may have the right weight, but they are not ready. They will be crossed when they are 6 months old or more. And before we cross our rabbit, we make sure that we treat our rabbit, because when you treat the rabbit, it helps the mother rabbit, with the mother rabbit. And I am a huge fan of organic medication, and our organic medication is usually the bitter leaf, scent leaf, and pawpaw leaf. So there are some best practices that we do on this farm. At the end of every month, we treat our rabbit with organic medication, which is the bitter leaf, the scent leaf, and the pawpaw leaf, every end of the month. So what it does is that it cleanses the system of your entire rabbit in the farm. And before you cross your doe, you make sure that your doe is treated with whatever form of medication that that best work for you. But in our farm, we deworm and we use this particular this particular organic medication, which is the bitter leaf, the scent leaf, and the pawpaw leaf. I'm not sure how audible I am because I'm not with my audio, unfortunately, but I'll try as much as I can to project my voice. So these are preliminary things that needs to be done. You make sure that before you get your rabbit, that your rabbit is gotten from a farmer who has a proper record keeping. You ask the question of the history of the mother of the doe that you are buying. You make sure that your rabbit is matured before crossing them. You also make sure that you treat your rabbit before crossing them. And the next thing that you need to look out for is to avoid inbreeding. So inbreeding is usually when you cross a rabbit that are closely related. So for example, you cross a buck and a doe of the same parents. So that is inbreeding. You want to avoid that, because sometimes some people would argue that they do inbreeding and is nothing. It's their rabbits. So it's a topic that is quite there's different view on this particular topic. But I'm of the view that inbreeding is not the best practice, because you may have recessive gene that may not be good, that has been recessive, that may not be good for your rabbit farm. Those recessive traits that have been suppressed, they may resurface because you've crossed in rabbits of the same parent stock. So you don't want to do that. So having avoided all this, there are things that you need to do when your rabbits give birth, and these things are very important. So number one, when your rabbit give birth, you need to make sure that you inspect the rabbit. You check the rabbit, make sure that, for example, on the anus of the rabbit, there isn't, something blocking the anus itself. Remove any of that. Make sure that the environment in which the rabbit is, that the environment is protected. They are not exposed to cold, because pneumonia is one of the high cause of the death for rabbit when they are exposed to cold and they die. Two, sometimes this may not necessarily be your cause, because some rabbits can by mistake step on their bunnies, on their little baby, and you may just come and then you see that the rabbit have stepped on it and the baby is there. That is not your fault. All you need to do is just to remove that particular bunny from the rest. Also, you need to this is also another thing, is when your rabbit gives birth to a lot of bunnies. So let's say, for example, your rabbit gives birth to 12 bunnies, you don't want to, and it's not advisable to leave those plenty, because it will be a lot of stress to the mother. Some of the rabbit may not have access to, especially the smaller ones, may not have access to the breast milk of the mother, and as such, within a day or two, they may die. So what you may need to do in that instance is to do what we call foster caring, where you take some of the bunnies to the rabbits that have also given birth the same time, or a day, at least a day, not more than a day different. And you don't just take the bunny and just put it like that. There are ways in which you can introduce that bunny to the other doe, so that it can foster it. You can take the fur of the rabbit and wrap it around the bunny from this other doe before introducing it into her, because she may reject it. So, and don't do it more than a day. So if your rabbit give birth to more litters, you can foster care that extra, maybe that extra litter. So if it is, say for example, it's 10, you can foster care maybe 4 of it and leave 6 for this mother to take care of. So also one of the factor as well that can lead to the death of the bunnies is when you have cats, you have dogs, or you have unsupervised children. The bunnies are very, very fragile at that stage, and they can get easily frightened by strange presence like cats, dogs, or unsupervised children. So you need to make sure that you don't have any of that, or maybe a place where there's so much noise. Maybe you are the type that put loud music around. Those can affect the death of your bunny. So another reason that could cause the death of your bunny is your housing system. You see, this net mesh can be quite may not necessarily be the best. In fact, we have to do some adjustment in this, and I prefer, in fact, going forward, we'll be doing the iron, the iron cage, because it's better, and we'll be having some done for us by the end of the month. But one of the things with the net mesh is that it's for new bunnies, their legs could easily get stuck on the net, and in the course of them trying to remove their leg, they could injure their leg. In fact, one of our winner is currently facing that problem, and I hope that will not be the first bunny that will be losing in this farm. But the bunny has not been as active as others, because of the pain in the leg. So you need to look at your housing system, because if you have a bad housing system, you may have issue of pneumonia because of cold at night. So those are the reasons from our experience, that could lead to the death of bunnies. So another reason why the bunnies dies is usually the failure of the farmer to treat the bunnies and the rabbit and the doe. For us in this farm, at 3 weeks, we treat the mother and the bunnies at 3 weeks, and we use our organic medication, which is the bitter leaf, the scent leaf, and the pawpaw leaf. The pawpaw leaf is a very good dewormer, and the bitter leaf and the scent leaf will usually take care of the general well-being of the rabbit. It cleanses the system of the rabbit. So we've seen that when we treat them at 3 weeks, they tend to do better, and that is why we've had this impressive rate of 100% no mortality for our bunnies. It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen tomorrow. Like as I've said, we have one of our bunny in the last island that gave birth to us. We have one of our bunny that is currently not in a very fantastic state. So we never can tell what is going to happen. But these are the things that we're doing on our farm. It may not necessarily be applicable to other farm, but in our own farm, it is working for us. We do not, just recamp. We do not, before bringing in any rabbit, we make sure we know the history of the rabbit. We do not cross the rabbit underage. We avoid inbreeding. Before crossing the doe, we make sure we treat the doe properly before crossing. And after crossing, we examine the litter when they give birth, making sure that there's nothing obstructing the anus of the bunnies. If our bunny give birth to more than normally more than 8, we would foster care to order. Because we do synchronization breeding, where we don't just cross one doe, we cross 2-3 doe at a time. So that helps in case where one doe give birth to more than it can take care of. We can always foster to other does. So we also we make sure that the place itself is covered, is well covered. The nesting box itself is well prepared, so that there won't be, because sometimes the bunny itself could just litter in an open space. You don't want that. The baby could die of pneumonia, So you want to make sure that you prepare the nesting box properly. We use dry plantain, put in our nesting box, and when the mother put the fall, even if the mother do not put the fall or not, the dry plantain will also serve as a sheet to protect the bunny. We also make sure that the net itself, and that's where we're struggling now, because we want to remove all the wire nest. We have to remove all of it, and put the iron, because that protects the bunnies when they are still little, so these are the things that we do on our farm. So please do wait to like and subscribe if you find this very useful, and also you can also comment on this comment section to tell us what you're doing in your farm. If maybe we could also learn as well from you. So thank you very much for viewing with us, for staying with us. Please do wait to like and subscribe, because it will encourage us to push in more valuable content out there. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.